1944. The first look at the new Yellowstone spinoff has finally arrived, and I'm telling you, this is not the ranch we remember. Spencer is older, harder, and carrying scars we can only imagine. The trailer opens exactly the way I hoped it would, with silence. No music, no narration, just the wind moving across the Montana grass, and then the camera slowly reveals the ranch house. And right away, you can feel that 21 years have passed. The house is bigger now. There are new fences, new barns, more cattle than we ever saw in 1923. On the surface, it looks like the Duttons finally won. But then the trailer does something clever. It cuts to the front porch, and the rocking chairs where Kara and Jacob used to sit are empty. Nobody says a word about it, but the message is loud and clear. The old generation is gone, and the ones left behind are still living in their shadow. That single shot tells us more about the emotional weight of this show than any line of dialogue could. Then we get our first look at Spencer, and honestly, this is where the trailer grabbed me by the throat. He's not the adventurous lion hunter we fell in love with anymore. His hair is graying at the temples, his face is carved with lines, and there's a heaviness in the way he moves. He stands at the family graveyard, hat in his hand, staring down at a headstone. The trailer never shows us the name on that stone, and I think that's intentional. Is it Alex? Is it Jacob or Kara? Or is it someone we haven't even met yet? Whatever the answer, Spencer has clearly buried more people than any man should have to. And when he finally speaks, his voice is lower, rougher, almost unrecognizable. He says one line that sent chills down my spine. This land takes everything, and it still asks for more. If that's not a mission statement for this entire show, I don't know what is. Now, let's talk about the war, because it's everywhere in this trailer, even when you can't see it. Remember, 1944 is the final full year of World War II. America has been fighting for 3 years by this point, and the trailer makes it painfully clear that the Duttons have not escaped the draft. We see a shot of a young man in a military uniform standing at the train station, duffel bag over his shoulder, and Spencer watching him from a distance with an expression I can only describe as pure dread. He's seen war. He fought in the trenches of the first one. He knows exactly what that boy is walking into, and he can't do a single thing to stop it. That is the kind of generational pain this franchise does better than anyone, and it looks like 1944 is going to lean into it hard. There's also a quick flash of ration books on the kitchen table, and workers loading beef onto army trucks. The ranch isn't just a home anymore. It's feeding the war effort, which means the government is now deeply involved in Dutton business. And if you know anything about this family, you know the government showing up at the gate never ends well. The trailer also gives us our first real hints about the money problems. There's a brief scene of a man in a suit stepping out of a black car holding a leather briefcase, and the way he looks at the land tells you everything. He's not there to admire the view, he's there to take something. Land developers, mining companies, the government itself. We don't know which threat this is yet, but the pattern is unmistakable. Every generation of Duttons faces a man in a suit, and every generation pays a price in blood to send him away. What makes 1944 different is that this time the ranch is short on men. The young ones are overseas fighting, the old ones are in the ground, and the ones left in between are stretched to their breaking point. For the first time in the show's history, the Duttons might be facing their enemy at their absolute weakest moment. And then, right when you think the trailer is winding down, it hits you with the shot that made me rewind 3 times. A woman steps off a train, dressed in black, holding the hand of a young man who looks to be in his early 20s. The camera never shows her face fully, just the edge of her jaw and a glimpse of familiar eyes under the brim of her hat. But I would bet the entire ranch on who this is. Elizabeth. Back in Montana after 21 long years, and she's not alone. If that young man is who I think he is, then the true heir to the Yellowstone just walked back onto Dutton land. But here's the question that kept me up at night. After 2 decades away, is Elizabeth coming home as family? Or is she coming back to claim what she believes is rightfully hers? Let's pick up right where we left off, with Elizabeth. Because if my theory is right, her return changes the entire power structure of the ranch. Think about what she represents. She was married to Jack Dutton, the golden boy of the family, the one who was supposed to inherit everything. When Jack died and she left Montana at the end of 1923, she wasn't just walking away from grief. She was walking away with something the family didn't fully understand at the time: a child carrying Dutton blood. Now fast forward 21 years. That child is a grown man, and in the eyes of the law, and more importantly in the eyes of the land, he has a legitimate claim to the Yellowstone. The trailer seems to confirm this the moment the young man steps off that train, because the very next cut shows Spencer turning his head slowly, like a man who feels the ground shifting under his feet. He isn't looking at a stranger. He's looking at his brother's son, the living reminder of everything the family lost. And the way the music swells in that exact moment tells me the writers want us to feel both hope and danger at the same time, because that is exactly what this arrival means. Now here's where things get complicated, and I mean genuinely complicated. Spencer has children of his own. We know his son with Alex would be a grown man by 1944, somewhere around 20 years old, and the trailer gives us a good look at him. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and rides a horse like he was born in the saddle, which of course he was. There's a fantastic quick shot of him breaking a wild colt in the corral while the ranch hands watch, and you can see the pride on Spencer's face, but also something else, something that looks a lot like fear. Because this kid isn't just a rancher. In another blink and you miss it moment, we see him holding a draft notice, staring at it in the barn where nobody can see him. He hasn't told his father yet, and suddenly, that earlier scene at the train station takes on a whole new meaning. The young soldier Spencer was watching with dread might not be a stranger at all. It might be his own son, and Spencer might be reliving the worst chapter of his life through the eyes of the person he loves most. Imagine surviving the trenches of World War I, building a family from the ashes of unimaginable loss, and then watching history reach out and grab your boy anyway. That is the emotional engine of this season, and I don't think anyone is ready for it. But wait, because there's a second son we need to talk about, the one the fandom keeps forgetting. Spencer's younger child, the one born from his relationship with the widow after Alex's death. By 1944, this boy would be a teenager, maybe 17 or 18, and the trailer gives him exactly one scene. But what a scene it is. He's standing outside the main house at night, looking in through the window at the family gathered around the dinner table, and he doesn't go inside. He just watches. If that image doesn't scream outsider, I don't know what does. This is the storyline I predicted months ago. The second son who carries the Dutton name but never feels like he truly belongs. He's not Alex's child. He didn't grow up on stories of the lion hunts and the Great Migration. And when Elizabeth's son arrives with a stronger blood claim and his older brother stands as the favorite, where exactly does that leave him? Vulnerable, that's where. And the trailer seems to plant the seed immediately, because the very next shot shows him talking to the man in the suit, the same man with the briefcase from earlier. It's brief, maybe 2 seconds, and it could be innocent. But Taylor Sheridan doesn't waste frames. If that boy is talking to the enemy in the first trailer, then the greatest threat to the Yellowstone in 1944 might not come from the government or the war. It might come from inside the house. And then there's the woman we haven't discussed yet. Because yes, there's another new face. And she might be the most intriguing of them all. Around the halfway mark, the trailer introduces a dark-haired woman working in the ranch kitchen. And at first glance, she seems like a background character. But watch her eyes. She's tracking every conversation, every argument, every secret. Later, we see her standing beside Spencer at the cattle pens, and the body language between them is unmistakably close. Is this the widow, the mother of his second son? Has she become the quiet backbone of the ranch while Spencer carries the weight of running it? If so, then Elizabeth's return just became even more explosive, because the woman who left as Jack's grieving bride is about to walk into a house run by a woman she's never met. 2 mothers, 2 sons, 1 ranch, and only 1 name gets carved into the deed. So tell me this, when the lawyers finally open Jacob Dutton's will, whose name do you think is written inside?